Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about A3 Shen Wu because there is going to be a difference between A3 Shen Wu and A5 Shen Wu. Now I will be doing an A5 Shen Wu review in the future, guys, but I'm playing my cards right to where I don't have to use the selectors that I have right now. Currently I have 4 of them and I can't A5 the character, but I just want to do an A3 review of the character because he really is a pretty awesome character and he's a very unique character amongst all the other characters that we have in the game. However, I do feel like a lot of players can be pretty flustered with playing with him because he is a tad bit difficult to kind of figure out. So I've been playing with him quite a bit, done quite a few runs with him, and I feel pretty confident with the information I'm going to be giving to you guys as far as A3 is concerned. So let's take a little look at good old Shen Wu and take a look at his core effects. So whenever you scroll down here, guys, I mean, obviously he has the strike skill damage increase, which is first and second skill are. That is amazing. He's got an immunity core. He's got decreased damage received, which is awesome. With at least one combat spirit stacked, he gets decreased damage received by 85%. Now this is really good because you can actually stack up 3 combative spirits all at once, and this is very important for him whenever you're doing damage. So gains competitive spirit when battle starts, then gains competitive spirit per 10 seconds, cooldown up to 3. Increased active 1 max damage coefficient by 1000 per competitive spirit stack owned at the time until the skill ends upon using active 1 max. Finisher and special skills up to 3000, and increased finisher and special damage coefficient by 2000 up to 6000%. What they're essentially saying right here, guys, is that you want to build up your competitive spirit to 3 before you use your first skill and before you use your finisher skill. This is where you're going to do the most damage. The trick with a character like Shen Wu is figuring out the timing, figuring out when exactly you need to do it, because the way his kit works is you can hold the first skill down and you can actually charge up to 3 competitive spirits, or combative spirits is what I meant to say, but it takes a long time and then you lose damage over time in, say, a game mode like Gil Ray, which is what I'm going to show you today. So I had to finagle the routine a little bit to where I don't always get 3 combative stacks, but I seem to get the most damage the way that I'm going to show you to play him today. He has the active skill damage increase. He has increased finisher and special skill damage by 1000%, which really just shows you guys this is really where it's at. This is his bread and butter, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing about the character. Now, I don't have his Phantom UE skill unlocked. If I did, he would be way stronger. Unfortunately, it's just going to be the UE skill where we get the increased strike skill damage for 20% for 5 seconds. Now, this is only for 5 seconds. So your first and second skill are strike skills. Your third skill is a grab skill. So you're only buffing up your first and second skill. And the first skill, especially because you get the active 1 max damage coefficient by 1000% per competitive spirit stack. So when you have 3 competitive spirits, this is going to be 3000%. And when you increase your finisher and your finisher and special coefficient by 2000%, which means this will be 6000% when you have 3 combative spirits. Now you have an open window whenever you use your UE skill to have this. If you let this run out, right? Say you use your awaken skill and then you use your UE skill and you start running through your skills. Well, if the Phantom State only has like 1 second left on it and you hit the UE skill, well, you're going to lose all of this damage. So it really requires some finagling as far as playing with this character. And that might be something that some people are going to like and some people aren't going to like, right? Sometimes when characters are more difficult to figure out, some players don't like them. They really like that ease of play, like a character with concentrate. But, you know, I personally like that they're doing new and innovative ways of introducing ways to make characters stronger. And his ultimate, you know, I'll probably show you this in another video, but his ultimate can actually be pretty godly in other game modes because you're always in an I frame, right? Now, his first skill is a charge skill, right? And this does decrease enemy defense by 8%, increase their damage received by 100%, which is really, really good. When it's fully charged, he gains super armor. He gains super armor actually in both, right? His damage just goes up, the percentage just goes up, and he gets the 5000% increase to physical attack, right? The second skill also recovers power by 20% upon landing a skill. So whenever you use this skill, right, and you hold down the first skill, you literally just build up your PG like crazy. It just stacks up, and this works for your regular PG gain, and this works for your Phantom State gain, those 3 bars at the bottom. So this is actually really, really cool. However, what I found, at least at A3, is that whenever I try to fully charge, I lose a lot of damage. I seem to do a little bit better when I mix match it a little bit to where I do a little bit of a charge the first skill, but I still spam the other two skills. with that charge in between. You guys will see exactly what I'm doing here in a little bit. And then the third skill is a grab skill. Now this does have a stun whenever you land a skill, when the skill ends, right? So after you grab a hold of them and you let go of them, you do stun them, which is pretty cool. And it's a 5-second hyper armor, which is nice. Now his finisher skill is pretty sweet because it does remove targets hyper armor, and super armor, critical hit shield. I mean, it's really good for honestly decreasing your opponent's survivability, increasing your survivability. We're increasing your damage to them, right? Which is pretty damn cool. We don't need to get in on all this other stuff. His striker ability really isn't that great. Now, when it comes to Temperance stones, I just have 3 stones on him. So keep that in mind, guys. If I had 5 stones, he would be stronger. He would do more damage, right? And all of these stones for Elizabeth and him increase finisher and special skill, increase finish and special, ultimate fighter, finish and special skill. I mean, right? I mean, this is where it's at when it comes to this character. And then this stone here actually gives critical rate. Now, I opted to go for critical rate because in my situation, the card set that I'm using, the critical rate buff doesn't work on him. So we're still going to get this attack, but we're not going to get these 2 buffs because this is increased critical damage by 120% if critical rate reaches 10% with this effect, right? So really the card set in the banner would make him a whole lot stronger. I've told you guys before, whenever I've tested banner sets for those specific characters in those banners, sometimes I'm getting 50% more damage or 40 or even 30%, right? And 30% still would be a pretty big gain. Now, he does have transcendent stats for attack type fighter on these card sets. And I am using this option card that does increase finisher and special skill damage by 50% when Ultimate Fighter lands an active skill. So you land an active skill and then you use your special skill or your finisher skill to get that increase to damage. And then of course the decreased skill cooldown and the critical rate, right? I'm using this card here that actually increases active skill damage. Honestly, I don't know if this would be better or the one that actually increases your attack. I'm not really sure which would be better. I think maybe the attack might be better, but I've already done the run. I've already done the pre-recorded run for you guys, and this is what I had on him. I'll do some testing to see if that card that gives attack is actually better. Now, his 3PG does increase momentum. Honestly, guys, for AG's challenge, this is pretty good, but I'll be frank with you. I was pretty disappointed when I saw this initially because I thought, where's the attack? Like, where's an attack buff or a critical damage buff or something like that, especially for a character that does so many hits. Like, when he does his special skill, you just see numbers just flaring, right? And so, like, if he had, like, extra critical damage, that would be insane for him. And honestly, I think players would be a lot happier with him if they did do that. But they didn't, right? It doesn't mean he's weak. He's not weak. But he's definitely not as strong at A3 as some of the previous UE characters that we've had. I mean, that's a fact, guys. He's not. But at A5, you know, as I told you guys in the last video, shout out to my friend Snow, another YouTube channel. You know, she was able to get 23 trillion doing a team run with Shen Woo, which is, you know, pretty close to what my Ash does on my account. So that's actually pretty damn good. So that really lets you know that at A5, that's really where it's at. But I want to show you guys what he does at A3. Obviously, Infinity's above level 10, right? And then his core. Now, when it comes to this core, obviously you want to level up attack, you want to level up penetration, but you want to level up his first and second skill, especially the first skill. It's really the main damage, and then do the third skill if you want. Honestly, guys, I probably should have leveled up this skill. I actually think that the first, second, and this special skill here would be the best for him in all honesty. And then you have the ultimate break. Unfortunately, he needs to be A5 to unlock the Awaken level 50 or the Phantom UE skill. So we're not really going to talk about it, but if he did have this thing, boy, it would be nice. It really would help his damage tremendously, guys. It really would make him a whole lot stronger. Man, he'd be so much better if I had him at A5. But then again, I mean, that goes for every character, right? Once you get him at A5, they're always going to be better. They're always going to be stronger. Now, the gameplay that I did for you guys, I actually did on the PC client on my other computer, so that way you guys get a nice lag-free run, right? So what I did was I just used Shen Woo and I just used Duo Long as a striker. Duo Long gives some nice little buffs with the, you know, attack by 10%, the increased attack by 50%, if HP is 70% above, and Shen Woo, because he's a UE character, he's going to be above 70% HP throughout the entire match. And then we get the decreased skill cooldown, which is really, really nice. And the thing that kind of upsets me right now is that I wasn't using a full team here. if I would have been using a full team, like if I would have been using other UE characters, we would have got an extra active skill buff that would have made him appear, well, I wish actually would have made him a lot stronger. So do keep that in mind, guys, when you're watching the run. He could have done more damage. So let's check it out and let's see what he does, all right? So Shen Woo, he looks pretty cool, right? And whenever you start the fight with this guy, you just want to go 3, 2, and then hold the 1 down. And what I do is I wait to get 2 competitive spirit stacks. I don't do 3 because it takes a long time to get to 3 and you're wasting a lot of time, which means you're losing a lot of damage. I do the 3PG. You see the numbers from the 3PG. Now we charge and we hit the default. Now I'm going to hit the Awaken skill. 3, 2, 1, fully charge it. 3, 2, 1, fully charge it. Right? 3, 2, 1, fully charge it. We're going to have Combative Spirit 3. You'll see the 3 there. Right? I'll put a little arrow on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And once you do that, just start building up your Phantom State bars. Start building them damn things up. Right? You'll do the 3PG. You can see the numbers we're putting up, right? Some pretty nice numbers. More than what we had before. Right? But it'll get even higher, guys. So we're going to charge it all the way up a little bit again. Boom. We see us build up the PG, which is pretty cool. Right? And now all we want to do is build up 3 Combative Spirit stacks again. So I go 3, 2, 1, charge it all the way up. 3, 2, 1, charge it all the way up. 3, 2, 1, charge it all the way up. We have 3 Combative Spirit stacks right now. I hit the UE skill. We got all those buffs. And look at the damage numbers that we're going to be doing right now. Okay? Look at the damage numbers, guys. Look at the damage numbers. Way more. Way higher than what we did before. Because we used all 3 bars of those Phantom bars, or the Phantom State Stat bars, whatever you want to call them, right? And that's what it is for him. You really, like, at A3, I can't speak for A5, but at A3, you really have to find that perfect melody, if you will, or rhythm to playing this character, right? He takes quite a bit of practice because of the whole, you're trying to do more damage on the 3PG, and you'll always know when you do it right, because after you use the UE skill, if you don't see that huge damage on your 3PG, you know you didn't hit your 3PG soon enough. Now the buffs from the UE skill, if you hit your 3PG and the buffs run out during your 3PG, the buffs will stay applied. But if the Phantom State runs out while you're using your UE skill and you hit your 3PG, well then you lose all of those buffs. So it does require quite a bit of practice to get it down. I had to play this quite a few times, guys. And I'm still going to play with them a little bit to try to maybe improve it if I can. Right? We hit the Away skill. 3, 2, 1. Fully charge it. Right? It's okay. 3, 2, 1. Fully charge it. 3, 2, 1. Fully charge it. Right? We got Combative Spirit 3. And now we're just going to start spamming our skills. The 1 will reset every once in a while. And you want to go ahead and hit that. And then go back into your 3PG to kill some time for your Awakened skill to be ready, because you always want to hit your Awakened skill before you use your UE skill, because that's the only way you're going to get the UE skill available for this character, all right? Or for any UE character. All right, so we do the default. You see a nice little pattern, guys. We hit the Awakened skill, 3, 2, 1, charge it all the way up. 3, 2, 1, charge it all the way up. We have Combative Spirit 3. We're going to charge it up a little bit more. We're going to get 3 bars of Phantom State. We hit the UE skill, and boom. And we start doing a bunch of damage. After I hit the UE skill, I just start running through my skills. But you want to go be fast, guys. You don't want to waste too much time, because if you do, you see the damage numbers. If you do, you'll lose a lot of damage on your 3PG. And for this guy with these imprint stones, that's where it's at. If you don't do it right, he will appear much weaker than what he actually is. He won't do near as much damage as what he really could. And believe you me, that is not a good thing, guys. And by the way, guys, I'll show you this afterwards. I didn't show you the plugins on them. I do have some plugins, but really not the greatest plugins in all honesty, guys. They're really not the greatest. But, I mean, 210 billion, guys. I mean, he's pretty much hit about 210 billion, which is it's pretty awesome, right? Now, I just kind of rushing through my skills here, and we were able to get 213 billion. I know, I'm sorry, guys, I canceled that out, but 213 billion is an insane score. Well, I mean, it's really good, guys. It's not as good as, say, like Ash or Psyche when they were A3. I don't think that they would have. I think they would have done much more, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But Shen Woo does have some good damage output, but he requires a lot of practice, man. He requires a lot of practice to get him down right and to be able to get the most damage possible. He really does. And as far as his plugins are concerned, let me click on the plugin here. No, wrong one. These are the plugins that I have on this character. So the first one, increase active skill 1 phantom damage and active skill 1 damage. This is God tier for this character. That one skill gets major, major buffs. So when you're putting plugins on this character, active skill 1 or attack is really, really good. Or increase to strike skill damage is also really, really good. Basic attack is trash, but that active skill 1 is good. The strike skill, this is very, very good for him because of his first and second skill, right? Again, strike skill, guys, like that's where it's at for this character. If you get one that says increase special skill damage, that's also going to be a really, really good one for him. You can see I have another increase active skill 1 phantom damage, right? So that plugin is going to enact whenever we're actually using the Phantom State or when we're using our UE skill. But I will say this, guys, like I think he's a solid character and I think he's a good character. I think because we had such amazing characters in the last update, especially with Ash and Psyche, that Shen Woo is just going to feel pretty underwhelming for a lot of players, right? But I really do think, guys, like if you are willing to go the distance and take him to A5, then you're going to have a pretty awesome character. Even at A3, he's a good character. But like I told you guys in previous videos, look at my overall power rating, right? Or my overall points. 1,930. Right? This is the problem with these UE characters, and this isn't a Shen Woo problem. This is a UE problem because they need to be leveled up. If they're not leveled up, then you're gonna jump in these game modes, and I'm sorry to bring this to light, but I think it's only fair and honest to me to bring it to light to you guys. Like you can only use them so high, right? I do like this new UI. By the way, this looks pretty damn sick if I do say so myself. But, I mean, if I put Shen Woo on this team, right? So, for example, look at this. 2510, 2400, right? With my EX characters. Shen Woo is not going to help this at all. You need 2500 here. You see what I mean? That's kind of the thing that sucks about this. Now, don't get me wrong. As I've said in other videos, you can use the characters in Colossal Dungeon, you can use them in PvP, you can use them in Guild Raid and League Match and all these other game modes in the game. It's not like they're useless. It's just you don't really get to use them where you really want to, right? And the same with Tower of Illusion, guys. They're going to need a certain amount of overall points, right? And the only way to get them beyond the plugins is to level them up. I'll probably bring this up quite a bit, to be perfectly honest, anytime I do a review of a character, because I think it's only fair just to let you guys know that, you know, you really should have enough rubies to try to A5 these characters, because if you don't, unless they're your favorite, I really would tell you to skip, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But I do like Shen Woo. I just think they could have polished him up a little bit better. I think they could have made him a little bit easier to play, in all honesty, guys. Because, like, if he would have charged up to get that combative spirit, like 3 stacks, like immediately, like you just charge up one time and you get all 3, that would be cool. Or every time you hit an active skill, like 1, 2, 3, you would get all 3. That alone would have made him a whole lot easier to play. And I think for a lot of players, they'd felt a lot more satisfied if he would have had more of a kit directed in that way, instead of the way the charging thing is set up for the competitive spirit, because that does really cause players to be a bit flustered. And anytime you have that, any character is going to look a bit lackluster to you. So guys, let me know what you think about Shen Woo, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.